In terms of comparing Android to iOS more specifically, they're very different beasts. Android is an open platform, completely open platform, that is being leveraged by a multitude of OEMs. It's actually the leading OS in terms of overall smartphone market share, with over, I think, 80% market share globally. And just hundreds, if not thousands, of OEMs writing applications or supporting devices that are running Android. So very diverse ecosystem of OEMs, very open platform, and that gives organizations a lot of creativity. Now, with that openness, also, we've seen the issue of fragmentation. So there's a lot of variation between one vendor's version of an Android experience versus another, based on sort of the additional software that they're adding to their solution. So fragmentation has been a challenge for Android, for sure. With the openness, also, there has been issues with regard to security and malware concerns. It's been much more vulnerable to those attacks, or the potential, at least, for those attacks. Compared to iOS, again, is much more closed. It's essentially a closed ecosystem. It's sort of an appliance model that Apple has developed, in that the only vendor out there that is developing iOS is Apple. So it's a sort of a known entity. It's a much more controlled environment. But that also introduces limitations. So if you want iOS, you have to buy devices from Apple. If you want Android, you have very many options to consider. And with regard to iOS and Android, from a developer standpoint, the access to sort of the device-specific capabilities and being able to code really down to the kernel level, Apple has a lot of sort of limitations from that standpoint. So when we're thinking about enterprise and enterprise use cases, and really trying to sort of manage the platform, manage the experience, those limitations certainly come to mind when thinking about iOS vis-a-vis Android.